Hey there, it's EnderVerse. Sorry again for the delay. Here are 30 mods of the month for February 2026. I won't keep you any longer now. Let's dive into the video. That was a piece of cake.
Oh man, we're losing our edge. I guess I'll retire while I can. Same feelings, dog. I have 2 kids. I still have my physics diploma. I guess I'll bounce too.
I have no needs for cowards amongst my ranks. You boys are ready? Let's get it done then.
Raids Enhanced will add new mini-bosses to the raid, increasing the difficulty of these events. Currently, there are 4 different new bosses. Raider Blimp are a pair of villagers specialized in airstrikes. Even if you decided to fight them on air, they can focus on 7 different sites, but you could still target them from a feast full of blind sites. Raider Drill is another manned machine that will give you a tough time, digging tunnels under your feet and spawning villagers randomly. Golem of Last Resort is a fortified version of the vanilla Iron Golem and can employ 3 different attacks combining ranged and melee assaults. When fighting it, it's recommended you have a shield, but don't rely on it so much. And finally, we have the Zapper, an villager which mastered the power of lightning and can use it at will. Many of its attacks are ranged and few will wear out your shield in seconds. So bring some spare shields along the way. Killing these new villagers allows for the crafting of all sorts of new machines and weapons. And the quality here is well delivered, nothing unexpected from FriendTP, the same person behind Cliff of the Awakening mod. Ah, crap. The walls are molding again. Guess I'll wallpaper it then. That'll definitely be the best long-term solution. Wallpapers, as you saw, are new types of decorations that you can stick to your walls. Since these wallpapers don't have a collision, as they are the block itself, they will act as no more than decoration and won't obstruct block placement amongst other things. Very smart thinking from the author here. You can also further decorate your wallpapers with sketching boards. Those boards add lines along the top and the bottom of the wall. Wallpapers here aren't so hard to craft, and each color pattern will require a specific item to craft it, so this will call for some exploration, which is always a good thing in a mod. However, one little thing I'd suggest for the author is to make the wallpapers stickable on all kinds of blocks, including stairs and slabs. This will allow for infinite creativity. Immersive Gateways is a mod adding random gateways which will teleport you to other gateways. This can be a lot of fun when you are just exploring the world around you, and will also help you discover new biomes very quickly. This is yet again a very creative spin of an existing category of mods, that being world generation mods, and will definitely immerse you more into the game. Beyond Depth has been a mod pack of the year for 2025 due to it teaming with RPG and vanilla friendly content, basically the embodiment of these mods of the month videos. To host said mod pack as a server, you can use PineHosting for instant mod pack installation, a price that starts as low as $3 per month, and a near third of that price being wiped out when you use my code ENDER for your first month. Of course, price isn't the whole package. You can expect high single-thread performance with the latest Ryzen CPUs, fast loading times and unskated uptime with the NVMe SSD storages, and seamless whole generation with DDR5 RAMs. The user interface here is also quite simple yet effective. You get an easy-to-use version switcher to keep up with Mojang's releases, one-click manual backups, clear file management for adding or removing mods, clear control panel for server monitoring, and as a cherry on top, a human support team that assists you with any kind of problem you may have. If your current server provider isn't cutting it, or you could use the massive discount, then no worries. The support will also help you transfer your server to PineHosting and even test play it to make sure it's working. Thanks to you friends, I've been able to do YouTube full-time for the past 3 years. By using this service, you keep me from taking a job at McDonald's and get my guarantee. If you faced any problems with PineHosting, please comment it down below. I'll tend to it immediately. Now let's go back to the video. Ocean man, take me by the hand, lead me to the land that you understand. Oh look, a mysterious looking trench that is obviously bad news. Let's see where it leads. Aquatica is a mod that adds a deep ocean dimension. This place features 5 different biomes, each featuring different natural elements like plants, geysers, mounts, and more. There are also a lot of aquatic creatures, from peaceful small creatures like crabs and isopods, to huge and threatening monsters such as the Leviathan and the Gomblower. The abomination you saw at the start. The mod is still experimental. Plenty of textures and mechanics are missing, but you can't deny its beauty, and the potential it holds. So I would highly recommend you follow the author in CurseForge to stay up to date. You may never know when the authors will release a full version. This mod expands dungeon diversity on Minecraft by adding new big temples. These temples look magnificent. The loot is pretty ordinary, but you can feature food, gold, and few enchantments and enchanted tools. Items that can go a long way if you are stranded in the middle of nowhere. I would recommend for the author to make the temples less scarce to find. Some of them can be as far away as 40 or 50,000 blocks away. This mod adds content from how to train your dragon cities to Minecraft. And I swear to God, I never thought I'd be saying the same line 3 times in less than a year. Anyways, this mod is pretty new. Predictably, the content isn't very polished as of now. However, the quantity of the dragons is abundant. The author worked hard to introduce every single dragon ever shown on the original series. They even designed lots of Viking equipment, including weapons, armors, and the like. The training process here is surprisingly simple. You approach the dragon, feed it its preferred food, and it will be your companion forever. While riding the dragon, you can execute 2 types of attacks. This is different for every dragon and has been designed with care. The flying mechanics are also good, but I have to point out weird things happening as of now. Once the dragon flies forth, it never stops. The only way to stop it is to fly down, which isn't ideal. I hope the author fixes that. The animations are nice, but they can use an expansion. This way to cover more activities. And that would be enough criticism for now. Congratulations for the author on this awesome mod. 10,000 golds for each of these monsters? That's like a lifetime worth of rent. I'll take those, please.
You sure? There's a reason no one has claimed them for months now. Is that the most pure about?
I said, I'll take those, please.
Alright, suit yourself.
Old man can't stop blabbering. Anyways, let's see. First, there is the Underworld King, and must be right about here. A gate that opens on its own. Artisan. Alright, time to kiss goodbye for that rent. Whoa, 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 so fast. Crap! I admit, I should listen to that old... Oh no. As you saw, Boss's Rise received a massive new update, rewriting it from the ground up. This new update featured a new phase for the Underworld King, better awakening animations, as well as better death animations for all of the bosses, as well as better stability and harder fights. I saw on the author's Twitter that they will be releasing a 5th boss, one surrounding the ocean. I really can't wait for it, and I'm grateful for the team for putting together such an awesome boss fight mod. Up next we have Meteor Shower. This mod adds those mesmerizing natural events to Minecraft. The animations and the VFX of these meteor showers are fabulous, and they're even realistic, as different conditions will produce different kinds of meteor showers. This mod is sadly not client-sided, but it's for a good reason, that being synchronization on servers, as in, you and your friends will see the event at the same time. Countered Smooth F5 improves third and second person perspective, as well as being fully compatible with the Shoulder Surfing Reloaded mod. This perspective is also quite adaptive to your movement and isn't rigid. There is also a smooth transition when you change your perspective, which made for a nice addition to my Fresh and Smooth mod pack. P.E.K.K.A Craft is a mod that adds a new companion you can craft through making its head, placing it on top of an iron block, and right-clicking it with a pancake. The pancake can eat, by the way. As expensive as it may be, P.E.K.K.A Companion makes up for it as it's quite strong and can be revived through taking its head upon death and placing it on top of another iron block. The mod also includes a new weapon as well as a new potion called the Rage Potion, which gives you immense boost to your speed and strength. In tough situations or against tough bosses, companions can be lifesavers, if not to kill enemies, then at least to distract them. So I would definitely pick this one up. Similar to our first mod on the list, this mod adds a new member to the raid, that being the Illusioner, who can finally see this mob in action. Now he's a lot stronger, harder to spot, and can summon spirits which will assist him during battle. The Illusioner aside, there are plenty of new mobs too. Some use melee attacks, but the majority use black magic amongst other spells. Each mob here drops useful items that will help you cast spells yourself. The mod has a very interesting magical spin to it, as you can craft various different books which will help you release fire, water or other elemental powers against mobs. There's even a boss you can summon and fight. Its attacks also feature black magic and can also go through a second phase. This mod is very expansive and provides not just a little push to raids, but a complete side story to embark on. This mod adds a very simple ziplining mechanism to Minecraft. By connecting two ends of a chain to fences, you can jump at the chain and hold right click with a pickaxe or any zipline compatible tool. You will then zipline your way to the wire. Keep in mind that you will need the reconnectable chains mod to be able to create a usable wire. Also, in the config, increase the chain distance to max. This way it's much easier to create long ziplining fields. With this mod, you can build a ziplining game on your server and charge people upon entrance. Easy stonks if you ask me. This next mod adds portal guns to Minecraft. Now make no mistake, this isn't a port of the good old portal gun mod. It's a fully fledged project with unique assets. This gun functions exactly like in the original game, and the plus over the old portal gun mod is the textures of the portals. They look a lot less realistic and highly pixelated, which fits the vanilla essence a lot more. It's good to see modern versions of old mods. A port would have also been nice, but fresh creations are always desirable. This mod adds compatibility between the Physics mod and the EpicFight mod. The EpicFight mod already had death animations for players and mobs alike, but the ragdolls take this to a whole new level and intensify battles, especially against hordes of mobs. This mod shows the missing items from your chest. This way you know it when somebody hacked your stuff. On SMPs, there is usually a claiming system where players choose and protect a certain territory, but if you're not a big fan of the claiming system, this mod may be the best alternative. Simple Missiles is a mod which adds plenty of warheads you can use to obliterate anyone's base. The rockets go from simple TNT level bombs to full-blown doomsday devices. This is one of the few modern combat mods which are, vaguely at least, vanilla friendly. The models aren't too detailed and complex, and the mechanics and crafting recipes are fairly simple to work with. So give it a try if simple and bare-boned is your style. Accent started out being Cakes Cosmetics, the mod that gave me my quiver amongst other cosmetics. Not the fox hat though, that'd be Lucky's wardrobe. The authors remade this mod into a new creation. While the original cosmetics remained, you can now give them different colors as well as receiving unique buffs upon equipping them. It's one thing to get good quality vanilla friendly cosmetics in Minecraft, and a completely different thing to have those cosmetics enhancing your experience. That's a double beef burger right there. So give this mod a try. It's compatible with Forge, NeoForge, Kilt, and Fabric, as well as the latest versions of the game. Sage Weapons adds 2 medieval artillery to the game. First, there is the Catapult. This is a very slow weapon to loot, control, and shoot, but will demolish any line of defense with a devastating barrage of cobblestone cluster ammunitions. You can also loot the Catapult with a fire pot to ignite enemies, or an explosive pot to blow them up. The Ballista, on the other hand, is an easy to handle weapon and it shoots bolts. Those bolts can take down a zombie in one hit, so they will come in handy for repelling incoming zombie herds. You can also control the range of either weapons, making it quite easy to aim and shoot at any target, something that is quite rare for mods of this kind. This mod allows you to chrome up through a simple but painful process. You can replace your heart, eyes, your limbs, and practically every organ and part of your body. These implants can give you all sorts of buffs, including speed, water breathing, and more. What I'm showing you right now are actually 2 mods. One adds the main cyberpunk features, and the other allows them to be visible on your body. So you can't afford to try one over the other. Amaranth is a new world generation mod. The biomes here feature unique combinations of vanilla blocks, as well as completely different new blocks like new wood sets, plants, and more. You could also craft plenty of wearables as well as brewing new potions too. My only suggestion for the author would be to enhance the coloring and the texturing of saturated biomes like the mixed wood biome. This is a promising new mod and it has so many biomes far beyond the ones I've just showcased, so be sure to try it out. Up next we have Sengoku Jidai. This is a new mod that honestly blew my mind. This project surrounds the Sengoku era in Japan. The author has worked on tailoring everything to fit the theme. The first thing you'll notice is the world generation. How wild and aesthetic it looks. There are also dozens of buildings and common structures to find. They vary in size and can be inhabited by samurais, merchants, or even foxes. The extra details and house decorations also help considerably in making these houses and castles look as beautiful as they can get. In terms of enemies, the mod replaced the common hostile mobs with demons amongst other mythical monsters. You could also cross paths with warriors too. These guys don't just fight conventionally, they deploy advanced fighting techniques and will circle you and parry your attacks, making for a tougher battle. There are also bosses here. The warlord boss in particular is a human like yourself, only differentiated by his skills and strength, making for a very intuitive and engaging boss fight. There is just so much to go through here. But since this is a top 30 list, I guess what I've shown so far is sufficient enough. Give this mod a try, my friend, and preferably make an entire mod instance for it, as the experience here is day and night from vanilla or even any mod pack you've ever tried. This mod adds a new dimension representing the Upside Down from the Stranger Things series. True to the original show, this plays under constant thunderstorms and is very dim and dark. You could also make acquaintance with parasitic monsters here, including the Demodog, the Demogorgon, and even the shadow monster that engulfs the sky above you. This mod is very tiny as of now, but the content here is held together pretty well. The only thing that might trouble you is the Immersive Portal's dependency, but that aside, this mod is an excellent representation of its original counterpart. Field Guide is a simple vanilla-friendly mod which makes spyglasses very useful in Minecraft. The spyglass can now scan entities, trees, or even plants. It will then provide an entry for them on this notebook. You can pull up the notebook by pressing R. This mod also works with many modded mobs, trees, and plants as well, and will be your best companion exploring a huge mod pack, as it can warn you if the mob is dangerous or not, as well as keeping tabs on all entities and flora in your world. My only suggestion for the author is to make the mod compatible with the latest version. This way people trying out the latest releases will be able to use it to understand the new features. Better Smoke is a mod which gives the smoke realistic physics. The smoke will now react to the wind, bump and disperse upon hitting a block, as well as releasing a heavy smoke plume when there are 2 or more campfires stacked together. This mod is great. I may very well add it to my mod pack fresh and smooth, but things here are laggy as is, so it may require extra optimization mods. I recommend you guys do that too, as the author mentioned that this mod can be a little heavy on low-end devices, so install Particle Core for better performance. Mebahel has recently added a new RPG mod which introduced new dungeons expanding deep into the ground. This place is distinguished through its mechanical components, as well as, of course, mechanical foes. These enemies included huge golem-like mobs such as the Dwarven Centurion, as well as sneaky mobs such as the Dwarven Spheres. Both will give you a tough time, so be careful not to come down here under-equipped. The loot in these dungeons included scrap that you can use for building mechanical pipes, as well as ingots useful for crafting some of the new weapons here. This mod is still new, so here are a few suggestions for the author. First is to enhance the design of the new weapons. Right now they look a little cheap. Second thing is to add mechanical companions that can be carried and deployed on the spot. Lastly, I recommend you work on some traps. This way these dungeons are a lot more dangerous to explore. Speaking of dangerous, Ruthless will make the hostile mobs on Minecraft, well, ruthless would be an understatement. These guys can now mine bricks, slash you with axes, run a lot faster, teleport you up into the sky, or just follow you relentlessly, so there will be no escape from them. The author is planning to even give these mobs new items and blocks, so I would recommend following the author not to miss that out. FriendTP is very useful as it will allow for a neat player-to-player teleportation mechanism. You can now write /TPA followed by your friend's name. A request will then be sent to them, and should they accept the request, you will be teleported over there in 5 seconds. There's also a /back command. This one is especially useful as it allows you to quickly go back to your base if you write it within 30 seconds. This way you can give something to your friend and go right back to what you were doing. I see this as a must-have in SMPs. It's a lot better than messaging the operator 70 times a day. This next project is a wall generation mod which adds airships to Minecraft. What is very interesting though is how well the interiors of these ships are. The combination of blocks is very aesthetic, and there's a vault you can unlock for immensely valuable loot. The airships themselves are also quite beautiful, and they have different variants and different sizes too. This mod is quite underrated, sitting just under 1000 downloads, so be sure to give it a try if you liked what you saw. The enhanced F3 mod will showcase a lot of detailed summaries about GPU usage, memory usage, network usage, and even miscellaneous things like your direction, position, and the amount of entities around you. This can make for a very insightful overview rather than the vague and limited vanilla overview. I do prefer this mod over the Better F3 mod, but only because I am a detail-oriented man. If you prefer simplicity, the Better F3 may stand out more. Before we go on, there is this weird bug that I have to mention, where the overview opens even when you use F3 as a shortcut. Say for instance F3 plus H or F3 plus F4 for game mode changes. I hope the author fixes that. And finally we have the Chest Stealer. This is a mod which automatically loots all of the content inside of any given chest. This can save a lot of time, especially with high-end loot chests deep in the ancient city. I like this mod, but the author should work on making it smarter, as in only picking up important items, or items with higher rarity. Picking up everything is counterintuitive. Also, you don't need me to explain why this mod would get you insta-banned on PvP servers. HL content on Minecraft, the Adventure Time famous DAP, and unprecedented boss fights are all things you can find in last month's collection, so be sure to check it out. Thanks for watching, and special thanks to PineHosting for sponsoring this video. If you ever considered making and hosting a mod pack, use my code ENDER. 30% less money is always a good deal. Now see ya in the next one, my friend.